We've just had another calf. Well done, cow. Waters went at about 5 o'clock. It's now 6:30, so you can see there's a bit of meconium staining on the calf there, the orangeness. That's just a sign. Calf's been in the oven just a bit longer than needed be. Electrolytes. Got a bit of a poorly calf this morning. Some Metacam. I've got the Draxin. It's got a bit of a cough. It was lying away on its own. I think it may be a bit dehydrated, so I'm going to give it some Metacam, which if it's got a temperature, we'll bring the temperature down a bit. We'll just kind of settle everything. Give it a bit of Draxin, some long-lasting antibiotics, and also the electrolytes. Could be a wee touch of pneumonia. It has been horrible weather the last few days. Now had some Metacam, had some Draxin, just giving it some electrolytes. You can see it's a bit snottery. It's been coughing and it's a bit kind of rough in the lungs, so I think it's a wee bit of pneumonia. That's the mother there. She's not best pleased with us, but she let us do it. Right, we'll come back in a couple of hours and we'll just keep an eye on that calf. At least the sun's shining today. The calf kind of looks half dead there because Dad and I were kind of chasing it a wee bit to catch it, so it's quite tired. It looks a lot worse than it actually is.
Hello, it's me again. Crawford's weighing last year's calves for his records and to check how close to 700 kilos they are. Once they're at 700 kilos, they're ready for the abattoir. Bye, speak soon. P.S. Bandit Beer pre-orders are live.
There we go. These two are duds. Get rid of that, get rid of that. There we go. So they range from 437 kilos to 693 being the heaviest. That's a limousine. Average weight 589. Average daily weight gain 2.71. There's definitely one in there that was skewing it. You get more detail when you go into your laptop. End session. Yes. Sync all my data. 40 odd beasts weighed. You realise how deceiving it can be and how off you might be with picking out fat beasts. You think you've got one in the crush at 650 and the next one's coming that you think, oh, that's a good bit smaller, that'll be high 500s, and it's pretty much the same. That was when there was an Angus coming in behind a limousine and the Angus just looked a lot smaller. I don't know if the colour was making you see it differently. It's good to be able to see real live weights. Still having some problems with this machine, so Kev's just been in changing the transmission filter, which is away in there. Not too sure whether that'll solve the problem, but that was the next kind of cheapest option. If that doesn't work, then the pump head we need to change. That right there, we've done that in the past, but the symptoms it's showing right now aren't the same symptoms that it normally shows when that goes, which is just kind of, whenever it's driving around the yard, it just dies. It's not doing that at all. So we're a little bit confused. I was doing a young farmer's tour the other day and one of the boys is a mechanic for Scott Agri. So I was quizzing him because he wasn't on the clock. So I can pull one of these lines off, put it into a bucket, prime it twice for 30 seconds each, and you should have 2.5 litres of fuel in a bucket. So we'll try that, see if the pump head's working fine. I've not had these symptoms before. Kev's going to take that for a spin and fingers crossed problem is solved, but I don't have huge hope. New pressure gauge has arrived here for the sprayer, which I think might be slightly bigger diameter. Might need to do a wee bit of botch jobbery. It's actually quite a nice day today. It's been miserable wet for 3 days on the trot. We've got a lot to spray, but it's too wet to do anything. Open this up, get the sprayer sorted out so that we can go spraying when the time arrives. Thumbs down. So that transmission filter is not fixed the forklift, so we're going to test the fuel. So I'll just leave a wee gap there so Kev can get in.
Don't know if it'd be easier taking off there.
When
you get a length of pipe then.
True. Right, if you just put the ignition on, it should pump for 30 seconds then it'll stop. Well, there's a bit dribbling out of here, but there should be 1.25 roughly litres.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, I think it's just when it's building pressure at the start, it must pump more. Yeah, go for it. Right, the outlet from the pump here, this should run for 30 seconds, then cut off, and there should be 1.25 litres of fuel in here, so it should be cutting off. That's 1.1 anyway, so it's not far off it. So I think that seems fine. It's Crawford here at Goldburn. We've been having a bit of bother with our forklift. Bandit beer! I announced it was on pre-sale yesterday, and I announced all the dates and everything, and I got them wrong. Ignore the destruction we're just doing with the digger, update on that soon. Pre-orders went live just shy of 24 hours ago. So far, 2,580 cans of Bandit beer are gone in pre-orders. Thank you very much to anyone who put an order, and it's a bit mental to be quite honest. That is about 30% of the stock spoken for. I'm going to have to apologise right now. I got my dates mixed up. I thought everything was ready to go this Friday. Turns out it was next Friday. So I said the first 100 orders would get there by Father's Day, and they still probably will. They're getting sent out very first thing, Friday morning, first class, so they should be there Saturday for Father's Day Sunday on the 16th. So I'm trying my best to get those orders, the first 100 out the door, first thing Friday on the 14th, so you'll have them by the 16th, Father's Day. If you put your order in for collection, it won't be in the farm shop ready for collection until Saturday the 15th. I said it was Saturday 8th, it's a week later, Saturday the 15th. But it's been a bit of a whirlwind the last 24 hours of orders going ping, 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 ping. Thanks. I didn't quite think it would go as quick as it has. I did order quite a lot more than last time. Got 9,090 cans available. And if you haven't already, the link's down there if you want to get some before, hopefully, they're sold out. In the words of Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. You'll find out what we're doing with the digger there soon. It's a bit sluggish when you're kind of going up hills and it's lacking a bit of oomph. We changed all the fuel filters. We left the pump head at the moment when we did the transmission filter. It's still not done nothing. We've taken the outlet hose off of the pump head and ran that for one priming cycle, and there was 1.1 litres. I think it's meant to be 1.25, but I didn't think it was that far off. Otherwise we're a wee bit stuck. We have had the turbo actuator go on it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if it could be that.
Yeah, so are you at the forklift now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so have you got the inlet manifold side?
Yeah.
And just look back the manifold, you'll see like there's a big Allen key like plug in the top.
Would you have a... Right, send me a picture of where that is.
Yeah, I'll get a picture of that to you shortly.
Right, perfect. Thanks for that.
Okay, perfect.
That's an Allen key.
Yeah, I mean that's all that's on the inlet, so. Yeah, it's well carboned up anyway. Right, been on the phone to the JCB man at Scott Agri, and he says there's two sensors. There's one sensor, this one, which is in at the chassis side of the inlet manifold. We've taken that out and that is clogged up with carbon, and I don't know whether I've just bent that or whether it had kind of failed, because you see it's got a bit of a kink in it there. So I'm going to run around and fetch a new one of those. There's also a plug here with a sleeve in it. I have no idea what it's for, but he said to take that out and clean it. So Kev's away to clean that while I go and fetch another one of these. Airflow sensor here, so this would be not picking up the volume of air going past it, and thus not chucking enough fuel to the engine, I think. Very helpful men on the phone at Scott Agri, Perth. Scott Agri, it's only a 10-minute drive away. We're really lucky for dealerships. All in the industrial state, which is 10 minutes away. We've got Scott Agri, so JCB, Horsch are the main bits of kit. Riki's, Valtra Massey. I think they do Brogan trailers and all sorts of other stuff. Agricar is literally 60 seconds away from the farm. New Holland, Kuhn, and all sorts of other kit. Netherton for John Deere, all within a stone's throw of the farm. It's really quite handy. We've had quite a lot of new subscribers over the last kind of month or so. So those of you who don't know, my name is Crawford. A lot of people think the farm's name is Crawford because it's a bit of a second name. We farm 3 miles west of Perth, right in the middle of Scotland, central Scotland. We farm about 1,300 acres or so. We put 1,000 acres of cereals in. We've 100 breeding cows. We've a farm shop, Goldburn farm shop if you're interested. We've got 4,500 free range hens, we've got a butchery in the shop, so that's why we've got the suckler cows. And there's a few other wee bits and bobs which you'll see along the way if you keep watching. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe if you've not already, and like the video. Let's go to Scott Agri and get an airflow sensor. Scott Agri. New one of these, please. Nice Fastrac icon kicking about there. 4220. Hey Doug. Persuade the boss to get one of those? I don't think so. In true salesman's fashion, he was out asking if we're needing one of those. Or two. Sensor, home we go. You can see daylight through that one. Old one. Can hardly see daylight through it. New one. Wow, what a difference. Yep, that's definitely going to be our power issues. Should be up and running now. The wee sleeve that goes in there, which is, I said it was a mixer, I don't really understand what it's doing, but anyway, cleaned that off. New sensor in there, and it should be fine now. We're just checking the fuel was sealed off again. To go. Battery's kaplunk now, because we've left the ignition on for so long. Right, try that. The jump leads are along the road at yard 2. Fingers crossed. Kev's going to go and give that a rip. Should be alright now. We've done both fuel filters, we've done transmission filter, we've done that sensor, and we've cleaned out that wee mixer shaft you saw in the inlet manifold. And we've tested the fuel supply, it's getting enough, and it is. All ambitions of going spraying tomorrow down the pan. Save us getting soaking wet. I'll see if I can squeeze the tractor in here. It's not going to fit in the workshop. My dream is a big old singing all dancing workshop. I'd love it. But it's so far down the list, I don't know if we'll ever make it to there. This space does the job. We'll get most kit in here. Good, man. Oh, you're joking. Those sensors have done nothing, but it's now throwing up some fault codes. These ones, after a little bit of Googling, think it's to do with the injectors, which is not ideal. Right, I've just spoken to them, so they are thinking it's some electrical fault of some sort because it's throwing up codes for every injector, so it's unlikely that they're worn out. The codes they're throwing out, if it was a single one, then it'll likely be worn out, but it's all of them, and they're not going to do it at the exact same time. So they're going to come out, they're going to reset some values on it with the computer, and fingers crossed, really. Pressure gauge here, we'll get that fitted. Kev's just sorting out hydraulic top links for the stone grapes. That black one's a new one, it's for the new stone grape. Slightly overkill with the old adjustable hammer. Steve on the phone said they're different sizes. I might need to make that hole bigger, but they're not. That has made me so happy. Oh, they are. Oh, literally by the thickness of the paint on there. Predictions, is this going to fit? The thickness of the paint. We have pressure. Lovely jubbly. Sweet, isn't that? Another thing, the PTO shaft here. As you can see, that wee white insert, that's meant to be relatively circular and run in that groove with its kaplunk. 3 screws, and then I've got a new bit in the car. The rain's just eased off a wee bit, but still gonna track to get that water into that drain because it was piling on down there. That's one of the new drains. Another job that needs doing on this is the lights need looked at. That's missing the grommet on the end as well. Get this inside and do it. A day for jobs. Just getting wee jobs done. Flipping it. Found it. It's quite a special one. It's not a stock kind of normal one. It's a special hardy one, which is frustrating because you can't just go and buy it in any shop. Had to be ordered in proper. I'm having to make some alterations and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so that insert has to go through the rubber wall of the union guard, and it's then got to go through the plastique of the shaft, or the guard holder, whatever you call it, like so, and come out here. But I think the design's smaller and that wee nipple doesn't come as far out as it used to, so you can't get at it with your grease gun. So I've made that hole wide enough that the grease gun should fit through that hole. Wait, I'm an idiot. I'm a fool. It needs to go on the shaft first. Idiot. After being a plonker, we're now reassembled. Just check that the wee grease nipple takes grease. Sprayer has had a wee bit of TLC, a few jobs needing done on it, done. As soon as this weather turns good, hopefully the day after tomorrow, we'll be back spraying. We've probably got about 3 full days worth of spraying to get caught up with. So if we get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be laughing. Let's go and see that cab from this morning. Voila, back up and running. Kev's been fiddling about with the light socket on that. A 7-pin plug, you put a new one on it. Lights are all good in that now. Sprayer's all good to go. That trailer's just about good to go. Not in the same spot we left it this morning, so it's been active. There he is. How you doing, pal? I think slightly better than this morning. The Metacam will have kicked in now. I'm fairly confident it's a wee lick of pneumonia. That's the worst of the weather past. It's to be nice weather for the next week.
I can boogie.